This is a brief explanation about the use of the Omni Pod insulin pump. The Omni Pod is a little different from some of the other pumps in that there's no wires. This is the pump itself. It's a little bit bigger than the other pumps, and this tape goes right onto the skin. So it is a little bit bigger, but there's no wires, so you don't have to worry about kinking. The first thing that we're going to do, everything that you do on the pump, you do on the PDM, or the Personal Diabetes Manager. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to link this particular pod with this particular PDM, and then make it do some basic functions like giving a bolus, checking a delivery bolus, suspending and resuming the pump, and setting a temporary basal rate. The first thing we're going to do to turn on the pump is we're going to press the house key. And the pump will tell you the last blood sugar and the last bolus, and then there's no active pod. So would we like to activate a pod right now? I'm going to press yes. Fill a new pod with insulin. And in this example, I'm just going to use saline. You want to make the lubrication on the black part of the syringe, lubricate the inside of the syringe. I'm going to pop. In this example, I'm using saline or salt water. This needle doesn't come anywhere close to the person who's using the pump, but it's just used to draw the insulin into the reservoir. This is going to be a 3-day supply of insulin. The Omni Pod does have an expiration on it, and it won't let you go any longer than 72 hours. So we're going to wake up the pump again, and it's going to tell us in real words what we need to do. Fill a new pod with insulin, and after filling the pod, listen for 2 beeps, then press next. So this is the pod. On the back of it, this is where the insulin, this is where the cannula comes out, and this is where the insulin goes in. So all I'm going to do is push this in. We heard the 2 beeps, so we're going to find out what the pump wants us to do next. Then press the next button. It's priming, and if you can hear very carefully, there's little clicks. This is pushing out all the air through the internal tubing of the pump before it gets attached to a patient. Prepare the infusion set, remove the needle cap and adhesive backing. The needle cap is this little plastic piece right here. I'm not going to take the adhesive backing out because I want to show you what this might look like if this is on a patient. And then press next. So I'm pressing next. Press start to insert the cannula and begin the basal delivery. I'm going to press the start key. That click that you heard, the little cannula came out at 1/200th of a second. It with a needle, and then the needle is absorbed back into the pump, and you can see that it is a perfect 45-degree angle. This will drip the insulin in, and again, it is good for 72 hours. And now I'm going to show you a couple of things of how the pump works. I'm going to turn the light on and read what the pump says. It says that the pod is active, basal 1 is programmed, check the infusion site in the cannula, and there's a little, if you turn the pump over on this side, there's a little window that sometimes you can see the cannula as it's attached, as it is inserted into the skin. So we're going to say yes. I'm going to wake up the pump again. Yes. Again, and this will remind us that the pod is going to expire at 11:35 on 3 days from now, which is 5/25. The pump will also give you the last blood sugar and the last bolus dose. To give a bolus dose, we're going to go again to the home screen, and you have all these various options. Bolus is at the very top because that's what you're going to do most often. So I'm going to press the select key, enter the current blood sugar or the blood sugar before the meal, and in this example we're going to use 125. If you go too far, you use your back arrow, down arrow to go back down. And we're going to use this for your bolus calculation, so we press yes. Are you going to eat now? If you're not going to eat now and you're just giving a correction bolus, you would indicate no. But if you are going to eat now, you indicate yes, and you tell the pump how many grams of carbs. And in this example, I'm going to use 16. You enter that. The suggested bolus is 1.15 units for 16 grams of carbs and a blood sugar of 125. And then it's saying 1.15, and you press the enter key, and you want to start the bolus. You want to confirm it. The pod needs to be close to the PDM, and it's delivering the insulin as we speak. And if at any time during the bolus you want to cancel it, they decide that they're not going to eat anything, or they've gotten sick after their meal and they're not going to use all of that insulin, you can certainly cancel that. So the last blood sugar was 125 at 11:39, and the last bolus was 1.15 units, also at 11:39. And again, every time you wake up the pump, it'll tell you when your pod expires, and the current basal rate is 0.2 units an hour. It's also important to know how to suspend and resume the insulin pump. The pod is not disconnected during water activities, whereas in other pumps we do disconnect pumps during water activities, but this stays on constantly. But if you need to stop the basal rate or suspend and resume the pump, you go to your home screen. You go down to the very bottom where it says suspend. You select. And you can select a certain amount of time, anywhere from a half an hour up to 2 hours. So in this example, we're just going to use 1 hour and suspend for all delivery for 1 hour, and we're going to say yes or confirm that. So it's giving in big bold letters that the insulin is suspended. Because the pumps are smart, if it's stopped, the only option is to make it go again. So we are going to go to our home screen, go down where the suspend was. It now says resume, and you select that, and resume in delivery of basal number 1. Yes, we want to do that. And now everything's going again. There are times when, because you can't disconnect the pump for activities, the person wearing the pump may need different amounts of insulin if they're active and they don't need as much as their normal usual amount. That would be a temporary basal rate. To go to a temporary basal rate, we're going to go to our home screen. We're going to go down to temp basal. We're going to select that. Enter the temporary basal change. Right now it's 0%. If we want more insulin, for example, as being ill or having some sort of viral illness where your blood sugars are a little bit high, we can go up in 5% increments. But in this example, we're going to use a minus 50 for 1 hour. And once we get to the minus 50%, make sure that, be very careful about whether it's positive or negative. Press your enter key, and the change can be in 30-minute increments. We're going to do it for an hour. You press enter, and it will confirm. Start a temp basal of minus 50% for 1 hour, and we're going to confirm. The pump will beep, indicating that it's remembering that. And again, at the end of that 1 hour, it will shift back into its normal basal delivery without having to do anything. However, if you decide that you're not going to be as active and you need your normal usual amount, we're going to go to the home screen. We're going to go down to temp basal. We're going to select that. Actually, we're going to go down to suspend and cancel. And we can there's 2 options: cancel temp basal delivery or suspend all insulin delivery. And I just want to cancel the temporary basal rate. So I'm going to select that option, and I'm going to confirm it. It's going to beep, and then our basal rate is running normally. There's one other option that you might want to know how to operate on an Omni Pod, and that is the alarm system. Any alarms will come in real words, but we're going to go down to more actions. Nope. It's under alarm history. I'm sorry. It's under my records. Press select, and then you go down to you can have insulin delivery and the blood glucose history, and we're looking for alarm history, because in case you get an alarm and you're out and about, when you get back to the med shed, or you're back with your when you can take the time to handle the problem, you choose your alarm history. And in this example, there's no data, but it would give you the date and the time and the kind of code that it was, and it will usually tell you in real words. So this is a very brief tutorial on how to use the Omni Pod insulin pump, and any specific rates and settings should come from your healthcare provider. Thanks.